Episode 69 of The Burrows. Kevin Blanc, Michael Merlo coming to you live weekdays on Mondays and Fridays now at 10 or 11 o'clock for BTO Media, talking Mets, talking Yankees. Today we'll kick it off with the Mets, but Mike and I were talking, and this week has just been so bad. This last 2 months have just been so bad that we may never even do a show again. So if this is our final show on The Burrows and we just go all in for football season, don't even be shocked, because it really depends on how these teams play this weekend. But Mike, you got to be kind of miserable today, kind of negative. If you heard Mic'd Up, you kind of teased all your feelings yesterday. But here we are today to lay it all out on the table and really just mope about these two teams.
Yeah, it's bad, and I saved the Yankees so we could discuss today. It's been awful in Metland, and I don't know when it gets better. It has to get better, and I think that'll be the theme of today. Like, it can't be this bad. These guys cannot be this bad for much longer. It's just a matter of time before they break out. Now, when is that going to be?
You'd think, right? And I keep waiting for that moment in the season, and we've spoken about it ad nauseum on this show. But when is that moment in the season where Lindor, Alonso, Soto, and Nimmo are just on the same page? And they're all playing well, and the Mets feel like the team that we expected them to feel like before the season, where it's going to be tough to stop their offense. And now with this bullpen, if the offense is even decent, they should win most of their games and be really difficult to beat. And that's just not ever happening. These guys can't get on the same page. Incredibly discouraging week against Cleveland, and just a discouraging last 2 months overall.
The biggest problem is they haven't been great offensively all year. I mean, their biggest issue offensively has been hitting with guys in scoring position, and that goes back to March, the first game of the season. So that's where I look at this and say, okay, those guys can get right. Those guys can go on a hot streak, but the common denominator throughout the whole season is that they have not hit when they have had guys in scoring position. Is that going to change in August? That's my biggest question.
Yeah, and something has to change here. And how much do you trust the group of guys? How much do you trust Mendoza and Stearns now post-deadline to correct this? We thought they needed to add a bat. They added Cedric Mullins, who, I mean, if we're just talking about getting better in center field, fine. But getting better in the lineup, Mullins is really not going to do it for you too much. Very minimal improvement down at the bottom of the order. And Taylor's one of the worst hitters in the league, so fine. Yeah. But Mullins is just not going to give you the boost that you need. It's going to come from the guys that they have here already. We've spoken about that on this show before the deadline. The best path for the Mets to win, and I felt the same way about the Yankees, but the Yankees definitely needed more help at the deadline than the Mets did. But the best path to winning is the guys that are here right now have to start playing better. It's not going to come from elsewhere. It's in the room. You have, as Brian Cashman loves to say, we have the guys in the room. We love the guys in the room. The Mets have the guys, but when will they actually start performing?
Yeah, I agree. It's on the four, and I can read the stats off again. You know, in the last 28 days, Alonso has 4 homers, 16 RBIs. He's hitting 157 with a 546 OPS. Lindor has 3 homers, 13 RBIs, hitting 206 with the 610 OPS. Soto has 5 homers, 12 RBIs, hitting 167 with the 680 OPS. And Nimmo's got 1 homer, 10 RBIs, hitting 241 with a 665 OPS. It's been awful. These guys have been awful for a long stretch now. And when you want to point to the reasons why they're losing baseball games, it's pretty easy. You're not going to win anything when those guys are not hitting.
And this weekend is massive. I want to ask you if there's any panic or sweat starting in this playoff race as a Mets fan. I mean, the division is certainly not out of reach at 2.5 games. The wild card is still comfortable, 3.5 up on Cincinnati. But the Mets play the league best Brewers this weekend, which we'll talk about in a minute, but I think they actually show up in this series.
I do too.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But the Reds play the Pirates, one of the worst teams in the league. We could rationally be looking at a 1.5 or a 2-game difference in this wild card race by the end of the weekend also.
Yeah, by the end of the weekend, you could start to feel some heat. They did lose to Skeens last night. I'm pretty sure they lost to Skeens last night. But either way, yeah, it's 100% possible. I do think the Mets show up, but I don't want to get to a situation where you start to feel heat from the wild card team that's right behind you. I don't think the division is completely out of question, but I would not predict it to this point. I don't think they're going to win the division. I think this is going to be the Phillies, but it could still be close and they could get right. And hopefully those games in September mean something.
Maybe it's just recency bias, but the Phillies, especially with the deadline, feel so much better than 2.5 games up on the Mets. They feel like a way better team. And how many times do I have to remind everyone that I could not have been more wrong on this Phillies team, but I've really come around to loving them because the only thing I was right about is I picked Wheeler for the NL Cy Young, and he might not win it, but he's been that good, and we know they have that top-end pitching, but now they just look like maybe the most dangerous team talent-wise in the NL.
They're not record-wise the best team, but I think they're the best team in baseball.
Yeah, I could definitely get behind that. When the postseason comes around, I think that there are teams that would rather see Milwaukee than Philadelphia. I mean, the other way around. Would rather see Philadelphia than Milwaukee.
I think you meant it the first time, but yes, I agree.
Oh yeah. I did mean it.
You were right.
I'd rather see Milwaukee than Philadelphia.
I don't want to see Philadelphia in the postseason. I don't. I think it's different this year because they have the closer. They have the guy that when you get to the ninth inning, you know it's lights out.
And if they hit enough, they're going to win those games with their top guys on the mound. They need to score 4 or 5 runs now, in theory, to win those games. Two of the three of their starters are going to be in positions to win games with 4 or 5 runs with the win.
Harper finally looks healthy, and he's hitting.
Schwarber's insane.
Schwarber's an MVP candidate as a DH / part-time left fielder. I mean, they're incredible. And Castellanos has hit a little bit. Real Muto's had a really nice resurgent year. They got guys. Bader's made an impact since he's gotten there. They got dudes.
Well, the Bader trade was a good one. Trey Turner's having a nice year.
Yes.
Yeah, they look good. They definitely look good. Defensively, they are better besides Castellanos.
Yeah.
And
he's something out there.
They do feel different than last year. They definitely do. Let's see, where else with the Mets here? Oh, let's talk about this weekend, though, first. I do have an odd feeling that this is going to be a weekend where they take 2 games.
I've been saying this for 2 days now, and there's nothing that has shown me this over the past 2 months that I should have any confidence. And it's not confidence. It's not like I'm predicting they are going to go out there and take 2 out of 3 or sweep. It's just this weird feeling that I have that they have felt the heat, that they felt the embarrassment, and they're going to go out there and shock people against the team with the best record in baseball this week on the road.
Huge start for Senga tonight on the road.
Huge.
They go against Woodruff, who's looked good.
Yeah.
And on the road, can Senga give you 5 innings? Can he get through that 5th? That's really all you're asking at this point of a couple of these starters. Can he get through the 5th and spare us the extra inning of bullpen work? Tomorrow, Henderson's pitching for Milwaukee. And who's going to pitch for the Mets tomorrow?
It's probably going to be an opener and then Montas, which is just what they do.
And then the Priester game on Sunday. I don't think the Brewers have lost Priester's last, 11 starts now?
Oh, that's good.
I think it's 11 straight starts that they've won with Priester and like 12
Mania.
of 13.
And we got Mania, right, Sunday?
And Mania Sunday. And so, I mean, tough series. No matter who you play in Milwaukee, the pitcher's going to be good. They have 5 good pitchers. They have a good bullpen, great bullpen. And it's going to be a tough series no matter what. But the Mets offense has to show up. That's the bottom line. They have to show up, and the pitchers have to give you 5 innings here on Friday and Sunday. Obviously, tomorrow you'll take the pass on the bullpen day. But tomorrow's a must-win then if they're doing a bullpen day. Those scare me because Sunday against Priester with Mania, you're not going to have the pen you want.
Yeah.
So you got to get Mania on Saturday.
Hopefully Mania is built up.
Yeah. I mean, who would you rather have, right? He's the guy I'd want out there.
I don't think it's going to be like a full bullpen game unless, well, it probably will be because Montas is probably not going to be great. So it's going to be an opener, an inning or 2. Then you go to Montas for maybe you get 3 or 4, and then it's rest bullpen. So I guess you could consider it a bullpen game. But yeah, I don't know. It's been so frustrating. I mean, Gavin freaking Williams takes a no-hitter ninth inning, 1 out. I was rooting for the no-hitter, by the way. I was
going
rooting
to
for
ask
the
you this
no-hitter.
because, I listened to the show yesterday, mic'd up,
Yeah.
and it was a great episode. And I was kind of with you on that. Maybe the turnaround would have came with ultimate rock bottom in that no-hitter. But at the end of the day, you'd prefer they didn't still.
Like,
But it's
part of me was like,
interesting.
Part of me was like, all right, well, Gary Cohen read the stat that no team has won the World Series while being no hit in the regular season. So I was like, all right, we're good. But part of me wanted the I still think they were embarrassed. I still think it was embarrassing enough.
I think they're at a point now where they've been so bad that they have to be embarrassed.
What do you think of Mendoza's answers after these games? Like, kind of like the cliche, like, we have the guys, but it's on me. I'm the manager. He's taking the heat. He's front and center, but he knows it's them and they're working their ass off, but just not seeing the results.
I think he's a really, really good PR guy because he gives you answers that you're okay with hearing as a fan and that you will accept, that you don't get frustrated by. But I don't know if I believe everything he says or most of what he says either. But unlike Boone, he gives you the accountable answers.
I was gonna say I like his answers better because I feel like he takes more of the heat for his guys, even when he shouldn't. Even when we know watching these baseball games, it's not on him. He can't do anything. What's he going to do? He's going to go out there and swing the bat for Juan Soto. He's going to swing the bat for Pete Alonso. We know why they're losing baseball games. It's not because of Carlos Mendoza, but he's sitting there taking the heat for his guys while also giving you, like you said, an answer that I think we can live with.
Yeah, Mets fans don't leave his press conferences with much to complain about or much to question. I think he does a good job of filling you in enough, but I don't totally believe what he's saying, but he says it all in a way that is better than the answers that you get on the other side of town.
Yeah, it's funny. He learned from not the best.
He learned from the best. He
learned what not to do.
Mentored by the best.
He learned what not to do during the post-game press conferences.
Yeah, I definitely have some Boone stuff later to discuss.
I can't wait for Booney.
But we'll hold off there for now. How about did you hear him talking about Sproat and McClain on FAN the other day?
I actually didn't. I heard Stearns discuss them, but I didn't hear him.
So Mendoza had just said, we have arms here right now that we like, that we're trying to focus on, that we're trying to get better and get these guys right. And down in AAA or AA, they still are they both in AAA right now, or are they both in AA?
They're both in AAA.
AAA, right? And he said that they are working things out there, also that they're trying to get right, little tweaks, but basically said, right now they're not coming up, but didn't necessarily say they're not going to come up soon or they are going to come up soon. I think it's an interesting conversation with these two guys because are they definitely ready? Like, who knows? I feel like I never know when prospects are definitely ready because I think there's more layers to it than let's look at the stats and let's just throw them in. That's the fan perspective of it. But would you call one of these guys up right now, and knowing them better than I do, who's the guy that is more likely to get called up this year?
I think it's tough because McLean is a little younger. Sproat had some run in AAA last year, and he struggled. And then he struggled towards the beginning of this year, but he's really figured it out. He's pitcher of the month in July. So I think, gun to my head, I think it would probably be Sproat, but McLean, I think, has more upside than Sproat does, but both could be really good pitchers. They're not calling them up until August 16th. I think August 16th is the date where they gain an extra year of control.
Okay.
They keep a year of control, excuse me. So I think it's going to be, I'm pretty sure that's the date. I was told it was the 16th by a friend. So I don't think you're going to see them until then, but I think you are going to see one of them.
Okay, yeah. I think Sproat, based on my casual knowledge, sounds more sensical for the Mets because of exactly what you said. He's just been around a little longer and he's had more run, and it feels like he's starting to hit maybe his wall of minor league development, and it's just becoming time to get him developing in the major leagues.
AAA is not the greatest league in the world. You're not facing the greatest hitters. Let's get him up here. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, see what he's got. And I'd rather him struggle here at this point than
potentially struggle there.
Pitch well. Yeah, pitch well or potentially struggle there.
See, my guy Jonah Tong striking out your guy Lombard. Tough go for him in Double A. I was looking at his stats that day. He has not been good in Double A, Lombard.
No, he hasn't been. But we're not worried about it.
Okay.
It's one of the great Yankee prospects of the Cashman era.
Okay.
Next
Jeter.
They're all hits. Yeah, we got another next Jeter.
Yep. That's great.
We're just cycling through next Jeters.
That's great.
So, something you didn't text me to talk about, but I want to talk about is Soto. And I know he's been struggling. This guy gets booed now. Relentlessly. I feel like Mets fans don't like him at all. And there hasn't been a moment where, and please do not take this as like a Yankee angle at all. There has not been a moment where I felt like Soto's a Met this season. There has not been that embrace moment where the fans have had that acceptance of like, this is our guy since they signed him.
They haven't had, and I talked about this yesterday, they haven't had like a signature moment of the regular season. I think he's had some moments where I have felt, at least as a diehard Mets fan, I'm like, all right, he's here. Like in June, there were a few moments where I thought that, but I understand where you're coming from. I do. It's just, he is hated. He is hated by especially the older crowd. And it's incredible. It's incredible. And it's because of the money that he makes. It's shocking. I love him. I still love him. I think he's great. I understand that the numbers are not where they were last season. They're, about 100 points off in most categories. But listen, you leave a generationally great hitter, and that's what's going to happen when you go to a lineup where you're the guy that they fear the most.
You know what I think could be a problem? And I didn't phrase it as a problem earlier in the year, but I have brought it up. Soto might never have a year with the Mets that was last year with the Yankees. Like they might win a World Series with him. I think that they will. I think that they'll have great team success with him and he will have a great career there. But I wonder if Mets fans will struggle to grasp the idea that the career year in the year of a Hall of Famer that will be a Met in the Hall of Fame and will spend over a decade in Queens, the career year was the year before with the Yankees. I wonder if that will always give, especially the older Mets fans, a sour perspective on him. Like he just took the money and never returned to that. But it's not like he took the money and packed it in. He's having a really good year. He just might have had his career year in 2024. It's a sick year that he had.
If they win the World Series, if they're in the postseason every year and competing, and he's having big time moments in the postseason, I don't think that's going to matter. I don't think the fact that his best statistical season of his career was with the Yankees, if they win something, that'll trump all.
Yeah, absolutely. If they win the World Series, then it absolutely will. I think right now, the season's just not going as planned. When you sign him,
he needs a reset. Like, and it's not, and again, it's not that he's having a bad season.
Mm-hmm.
He just sort of needs this reset.
And when you sign him, the narrative is this is the team that was just 2 wins away from the World Series, adding Juan Soto. But I always hate those narratives, and it's fair to do it. Like, I get why a Mets fan would say that. But I hate those narratives because every team is so much different. Even Lindor from last year to this year, the guys are just different every year. And the team is completely different. I hate comparing year to year and, we added this to this team. But that's how fans do it. And that's how I sometimes process it when my teams do something like that. But it was supposed to be that we're the best team in the NL now. We're right there with the Dodgers. And it might be that way in late October, but it has not been that way. And I think Mets fans have just gotten almost fatigued from like, we're waiting for that hype moment and stretch where we're just saying, this is the team. And it just
we haven't had it since June. And that's almost too early to have it. And they had a great run early in June of these wins where you're like, wow, like I'm surprised they won that game. And you haven't had it in a while. It's just been since the Tampa Bay series. I mean, you remember the Tampa Bay series when Tampa came here and kicked their ass. I mean, it's been since then that they've been a problem.
Yeah, and Mets fans are just trying to the boos. I don't agree with the boos.
The other day, I agree with the boos. When you're getting no hit at home, you've been terrible at home.
Okay, fine. Just that game alone.
That game, and it hasn't been bad outside of that game. I mean, there's
I feel like the game before I heard him getting some boos, Soto specifically. The game before that.
Well, you know what? He deserves it. He deserves it. Well, not Soto. I mean,
the Phillies, you got to take the Phillies route. Let's cheer this guy on. This is our guy.
We did that last year with Lindor.
And he almost won MVP.
I know. After that, he was great. Listen, tough love. Tough love.
It's got to be Soto appreciation night.
What did Kepler say? We already did something like that for Soto at some point this year.
I know they did in late April or March.
You made fun of it.
Yeah, I know.
What's
pathetic?
Kepler said something the other day because he had a big game earlier in the week and he was getting booed like crazy. You know, I think they would have, they would have just they would have drove Kepler out of town. I was going to say something really insensitive. I wasn't going to. But he had said the boos in this town are like signs of love or something like that. It shows they care. Like, shut up, Max Kepler. But it is true. It's they care.
Jeter tough. Always said that too.
Well, Jeter's
greats.
Corny.
That's what the greats say.
Jeter's corny.
Did you see Boone with that shirt on, defending Volpe getting booed and like a couple other guys? I don't know what the date was from, but I saw the video yesterday. I should have saved it. I saw the video yesterday, and it literally could have been from last year. I know it wasn't within the last week or two.
Okay.
And they were talking about Volpe getting booed and a couple other guys getting booed, and he has a T-shirt on, and it's one of the World Series T-shirts, and it's Jeter, Posada, Rivera, and Pettit with the World Series trophy. It's just their faces, and he wore it like intentionally to this press conference, and he's like, "You don't think any of these guys got booed? Every single guy in this shirt got booed."
Wow.
I'm sorry, but like, what?
Wow. Great job. Thanks, Booney.
Thanks, Boone. It was so like forced, and it was like he rehearsed it in the mirror before he did it.
This is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, this is how I'm gonna defend my boys here.
How do you feel about Jeter no showing All-Timers Day again? By the way,
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care.
Okay, you don't care about Old-Timers Day?
No, I think it's just not even close to what it used to be. Okay. They hardly play anymore.
Okay.
And I mean, it would have been nice to see him at the 25th anniversary of the 2000 team, obviously. But he was the World Series MVP that year, so
right. And they beat.
I wasn't even gonna say it.
They beat Big Brother that year.
You know, I had something to say actually about Big Brother. You know, nobody wants to be Big Brother in Queens now. The last 2 months, when everyone's ripping the Yankees and the Mets are just as bad.
I've seen this take. I've seen this take. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Nobody wants to be Big Brother when both teams suck.
You guys are worse. You guys are worse than us.
Record over the last 6 weeks. They have the same exact record.
Yeah,
but just played one less game.
You're completely out of the division now. We still have a chance in the division. You're about to lose your playoff spot. We still got a nice, comfy lead there. I mean,
you got the Reds in the rearview mirror right now. The Cincinnati Reds.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
Tito's Reds are right there in the rearview mirror. I'm shaking. Mets fans don't get a word on the radio, on anywhere locally the last 3-4 weeks, and they're not asking for it. Talk about the Mets more. I want you to talk about the Mets getting swept this week.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry the Mets don't wander off of first base when there's a pop fly right next to me. Or forget how many outs there are.
No. You know that when
6 errors at shortstop.
When both teams are in the hole, everyone focuses on the Yankees.
But the Yankees
There's no Big Brother in Queens.
The Yankees are so far in this hole right now where it's laughable.
No.
Mistakes that they make.
That's the radical media has perceived that the Yankees are so far in this hole, so much farther than the Mets. But it's just because they don't talk about the Mets.
It's
The
because
Mets
the Mets
stink
don't.
too.
The
They're
Mets,
awful.
the Mets have been bad for the same amount of time, yes, but they haven't been as bad as the Yankees have been.
Well, they're in that terrible division where no one wants to run away with it. Blue Jays, this is an elite contending team. They want to run away with this thing.
The Phillies would sweep gentlemen sweep the Blue Jays in a postseason series. That'd be a 5-game series.
Nobody in Mets land wants to be Big Brother when both teams are bad.
We're just not as bad. We're just not as bad. That's
They've
the
won
problem.
2 more games this year.
But it's the level of play. It's the play. It's not the record. It's not the record over the past month and a half, whatever the number is. It's the fact that the Yankees look like a little league team out there and the Mets just don't hit.
It is the way the Yankees lose. But still, I'm sticking with the substance of what I said, that nobody is talking about Big Brother now when the Yankees get all the heat.
That's fine.
Nobody. Because if the Mets were Big Brother, you wouldn't be hearing as much about the Yankees' mistakes.
That's fine.
Microscope on the Yankees. Not a microscope on the Mets. Just naked eye.
No.
Yep.
Absolutely. Not a naked eye.
Absolutely.
People are talking. People are talking.
We've one more Mets topic today.
I'm talking about it.
Mic'd up.
Yeah.
Didn't even discuss the Yankees yesterday. Mic'd up.
No, because I don't talk about little brother. No, I wanted to save it for today.
The last topic I have for the Mets is Brett Beatty's funeral is today. We're done with him. It's over.
Done.
You got to be done with him.
But the problem is they're not going to be done with them because they can't send him down. They DFA him.
Yeah. He has no more options?
He has no more options. So they're going to have to trade him in the offseason.
Yeah. They should have moved him at the deadline. Should have moved him at the deadline.
Yeah, I don't know what you could have got for him. Could have you gotten Zach Gallen?
I mean, probably.
Would have you done that?
Yeah, if I'm going to DFA him.
I don't think they're going to DFA him.
If my only option is keep him on my team or get rid of him, I'm probably going to get rid of him.
I don't think they're going to DFA him, but we'll see.
I wouldn't blame him if they did.
You're a hater.
Did you see Marcus Stroman within 3 minutes of being DFA'd post a picture on a private jet with his $100,000 Rolex on?
Was it also true that he went to the amusement park? Or was that fake? Did I get punked?
That was definitely fake.
Okay.
Great
like,
meme nonetheless.
F6 Flags, something like that. They had the height, whatever. The height limit is not short enough or something. All right, I got punked. Sorry.
You got punked on that. It was definitely not real. All right, let's go to the Yankees here today. A lot to discuss in Yankee land. They've been, really good their last one game. And before that, it was really ugly. But
I really thought they were losing that game the other day.
I thought they were going to lose it too. Scary stuff. But I want to start with the game before that.
Sure.
How does Boone pitch Williams in that game? How?
Yeah, I don't. I have no clue. I actually have no clue. And what was his plan? And I want to look. I got to look this up quick. What was his plan if he got to the ninth? Right? Was it going to be Doval or was it going to be Bednar in the ninth?
No, it was going to be Bednar because Bednar was warming up already. And that was the biggest complaint was Bednar had been warming up for the same amount of time that Williams was. And once Williams started struggling, why is he staying in to get the outs?
That's the biggest question I would have. Why is he sticking with Williams there when you have somebody warm?
Yep. And that game they're probably going to lose anyway, I think, because they could not hit. Evaldi was unbelievable.
I can't believe how good Evaldi's been.
He's great. I mean, he's a legit contender for the AL Cy Young. It's going to be Skubal if the season ended today. But, man, he keeps this up, and Skubal has one or two bad starts, or even just decent starts. There's a real conversation to be had.
I mean, he leaves that game without using Bednar. He used Duval, Weaver, and Williams, but he leaves that Tuesday game without going to, arguably his most clutch reliever.
Yeah.
And he loses it.
That was bad. That was really bad.
It's questionable. I can't wait to talk about how they play this, how they use these guys.
Yeah, let's just go right into that now. First of all, did Bednar earn this closer job on Wednesday? For the time being.
I think for right now. Yeah, I
would
would go to him.
They should not make a long-term commitment to anybody at this point.
No.
But Bednar is the guy in the next, this weekend against Houston that should be getting the close ninth inning.
I agree. I like Duvall, but I'm fine with going to Bednar right now because he had the opportunity and got such a 5 big outs on Wednesday. I think right now, who do you trust? Who do you want to go to in that spot? That's fine.
So how would you lay out, say, pitcher comes out in the 5th, you got a 2-1 lead. How would you lay out?
Weaver, Williams early. I don't want Williams anywhere near a late game right now. Weaver's a weapon, right? I don't care when I use Weaver, because he can give me multiple innings, and he going in the 9th, he going in the 7th, and it's the same thing for him. So Weaver would be my wild card, and then ideally 8-9 would be Duvall, Bednar.
Yeah, so I agree with that, the entire philosophy. And even before Weaver, I would go, Fernando Cruz is going to come back from injury.
Yeah.
I'd get him going first before we threw him into any leverage, 5th inning, 6th inning, anything close. But Cruz and Tim Hill are now more within the circle of trust than Devin Williams.
He can't be used in big spots anymore. I mean, I would be shocked if he goes back to him. He can't. That's it. There's no more trying this out. There's no more, we need this guy to succeed for us to have success in the postseason. No, you're going to have success with or without this guy at this point. It's done. And he's not coming back.
If the playoffs were tomorrow, I don't think he'd be on my playoff roster.
I think they'd have to seriously consider it.
Because you're probably putting Mark Leiter there. You're probably going to put Mark Leiter there over him. His ERA is a whole point higher.
Mark Leiter in the circle of trust over Devin Williams for you?
Over Devin Williams, yeah. You know how I feel about Mark Leiter.
That's big. Yeah, that's
really Devin big. Williams is first, let me say this first. How is it possible? Like, this is an organizational thing at this point, or is it the pinstripes are too heavy, or like what is it where Devin Williams is awful? Clay Holmes was awful last year, and Aroldis Chapman was awful in 2023. So what is the epidemic occurring in the Yankees organization that these high-leverage, proven closers cannot pitch the 9th? Well, I know Chapman gave him good years, so I get that. But, like, Williams is horrid. Yeah, but he gave him one good year as the closer. Good year before that as just a regular reliever. But Chapman did give them a couple of elite years of closing.
Yeah, 100%. Weaver, I mean, when he stepped into that spot last year was great. So I don't know if it's this epidemic. I think maybe it's the guy you bring in and hope for a full season is going to be. I don't know. I really don't. But there's a lot of pressure on him. They changed the beard rule for him, Kevin.
And you were on this in the first week of the season. I think after his first blown save, his post-game press conference, and you said he does not look like he wants to be there. I wanted to feel it out first, but I totally agree with you now. Every time he speaks after the game, it feels like he doesn't want to be there at all.
It wasn't the first one, but it was like April or May, and it was a Saturday, and they were in Tampa playing at their other home ballpark, and he blew the save. They blew like a 4-run lead in the 9th, 3-run lead in the 9th.
Yeah, it was a 4-0 game.
And he was just sitting there. I was unlucky today. I was this, I was that. That's not going to happen. But very short, really just not great answers. And that rubbed me the wrong way. And ever since then, all I've seen is that.
And he is, I mean, I don't even want to go here, but he might be my least favorite Yankee ever.
Wow. Can we get a list? Can we get a list right here?
Because it would be like him. It would be Jordan Montgomery would be in the mix.
Yeah, obviously.
That's a personal hate. Yeah. No, that's not really performance based.
Did nothing to you.
Nope. And most of the time was a good 4th, 5th guy in the rotation, but we're not gonna go down that road really.
Hate
today.
Jordan.
It would be definitely Williams. Josh Donaldson would be there.
Yeah, sure. IKF?
No, it's my guy.
Okay.
That's my guy. What do you mean?
All right. Sorry.
It's not a really long list of guys that I dislike this much.
I've got a list.
Of bad Yankees or of bad Mets?
No, of Yankees I hate.
Yeah, but those are all the good ones.
Top 5. Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter.
But yeah, he's right there. Oh, Mark Leiter's in the group too.
two of the Yankee relievers currently on the roster are on your hate list. That's crazy.
Yeah, Mark Leiter's definitely in the mix. And that, again, less performance-based, honestly. And more... Dude, Jazz, thin ice with Jazz Chisholm.
Jazz.
Thin
Hold
ice.
on. Can I say something?
Yeah.
This is gonna go back to Boone too. What? What is he thinking? Saying, I was trying to make a play. Oh, I would do it again. What kind of play are you trying to make on that? Seriously. I mean, what are you going to do on that play? You're going to sprint to second base before he picks it up and get there and beat it out?
Yeah. That was really bad. And because the problem I have with that play is you get doubled up in that spot. Worst case scenario, other than getting doubled up, is he does drop the fly on purpose and he throws Jazz out at second. But that's one out and Goldschmidt's on first. Goldschmidt was standing one step in front of first base when that ball was caught and Jazz got doubled up. He was standing right there. Like, they weren't going to throw it to second and double him up at first.
No.
Aaron Hicks, my boy Trev. Aaron Hicks, absolutely. Great call. Greg
Aaron
Bird
Hicks is on the list.
Greg Bird is in the mix, but more so biggest disappointment I've had as a Yankee fan. Okay, Gary Sanchez, throw him in. Gary Sanchez is those guys were, but Aaron Hicks is going to be in the mix for sure. But the accountability post game from Yankees players, everyone likes to go Boone for this, and I guess Boone is the overarching figure of who should be putting the accountability into the clubhouse. But Mike Vaccaro from the New York Post wrote an article the day after Williams gave up the home run to Jack Peterson. And the first line was about Devin Williams' lack of accountability postgame. And he said, I felt good. I only threw one bad pitch. And I saw it. He says it arrogantly. He speaks arrogantly to the media. Yeah. And he says, I only threw one bad pitch. And Mike Vaccaro writes, and the captain of the Titanic only hit one iceberg. And it's a symbol of just Yankees players don't think they do anything wrong.
Yeah, and that has to come from the manager. I mean, again, Jazz Chisholm made a mistake that 95% of Little League players would not make.
Yep.
And the manager rips him. You see him go into the clubhouse, down the tunnel and rip him. But after the game, when the narrative is that he is soft on his players to the media, which is fine because that's the day and age we live in. The fact that he sits there and defends him and says, well, he's trying to make a play. How? Nobody's trying to make a play on that.
No, it was bad. And I get the idea and the thought process of a baseball player saying he might drop that on purpose. But that doesn't give you the excuse to get doubled up at first. It just doesn't.
Get doubled up. You can't.
And that wasn't even the worst mistake of the Marlins series. Wells not knowing how many outs there were. That happened to Dominguez earlier in the year when they got swept by Boston.
Well, that happened against Tampa. Yeah.
That happened against Tampa. You're right, in that last Tampa game. It's just Joey Gallo, great call. Joey Gallo, great call by Trev again. But it was just, it's such a symptom, and it is a symptom of the manager, really, and not being held accountable by him. You don't feel like you're accountable all around, and it's bad.
I don't think he survives this season. I think finally, I think he's gone.
Well,
like
it's
I think
tough.
I think in the offs, I don't think they're going to fire him during the
No, I agree. I agree with you. It's tough though because after this year, he has 1 year left on his contract still, or no, 2 years because it was a 3-year extension with 1 year left. So he's got 2 years left, but it's very cheap. He's the second lowest paid manager in baseball.
How is that possible?
I know him and Rob Thompson are the 2 lowest paid managers in Major League Baseball.
Are you serious?
Yep. And
Mendoza's got a tiny contract, and he's more than Mendoza's more than him.
Yep. He's in the bottom 5-6 too.
I know.
If you notice the trends of baseball, because I've had Yankee fan friends who like rip Hal Steinbrenner. He won't even go big for the manager. The trends of baseball are that the teams that spend more spend less on a manager, and the teams that spend less like to spend more on a manager. Like the Reds are paying Francona a lot.
Now I gotta look this up.
Unless Boone got bumped after his extension, but
he's
had
always to have.
No, because I remember reading how it was they lowballed him on the annual salary.
Torey Lovello gets $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boone's at 4.5.
He's at 4.5 now. Okay, because before that he was at 1.5. Okay, so he got bumped big time.
He got bumped in this.
Is Thompson
extension.
still last?
I only get up to 16th.
Okay.
But he's not on the list. AJ Hinch 1.2, Mendoza 1.5, Shelton 1.5, Cash only 1.6.
We're buying him out.
Right. Of course. Steven Voigt's at $4 million. Wow, that's crazy.
Who's
Craig Counsell's Dave Roberts 8.1, Craig Counsell 8.
And besides Bochy, is Roberts the only manager in base? This might be a dumb question. I have no idea. Is he the only manager in baseball right now with multiple World Series rings?
Dave Roberts.
I think he is.
Cora has 1.
Snitker has 1.
Snicker has 1. Ron Washington is 0. Snicker 1. Martinez 1. Yep. No, AJ Hinch.
Oh yeah. Well, no, Hinch only has 1.
No, he only has 1. That's right. He should have 2.
He only has 17. Yeah, he should have none. He should have none.
Should have multiple.
Should
beat you guys.
Should have 1, not 17, maybe like 19.
Yeah. Baker.
They win one with Hinch. Dusty's
Dusty. Yeah, good for Dusty.
But yeah, so Roberts is the only manager besides Bochy with multiple rings. All right.
Bochy is your guy.
Yeah, Boone almost outclassed him twice this week, but only did once. Too bad. What were we just talking about though before that? Managers. Oh yeah, so I could see Boone getting moved. I could see this being the breaking point. But what if this is how the rest of the season goes? They get the 6 seed. Or they get the 5 seed. Say
okay.
Yankees have one more little run in them. They end up grabbing a 5 seed. Seattle's struggling because the guys who got at the deadline aren't hitting.
Okay.
And the Yankees somehow win a wild card round. At Fenway or at Houston or at Seattle, wherever they end up, they win a wild card round.
And it's like
but then they lose the division round.
And you feel like it was them exceeding expectations.
Yeah, and then they lose in the division round against Toronto. You know, they lose 3-1.
I think they have conversations. I think a conversation is had.
And I think Cashman's got to look at this team. If Cashman's into analytics, and this is not very deep analytics, and say, we lead the league in WAR. This team overall leads the league in WAR, and there's going to be deeper analytics that a front office in Major League Baseball uses than just that. To basically say what I've been saying most of the year, this is the best team he's built in the Judge era. At least lineup-wise. And they did not get nearly as far as they've gone in past years.
Well, then Cashman's going to fire him.
That's what I think it's going to come down to, because Cashman's not going anywhere.
Cashman's going to place the blame for the team underachieving when they shouldn't have on somebody. It's going to have to be on Boone. And he might be right. He honestly might be right.
He might be. This year he might be. And how legitimate is Brad Ausmus as a quick replacement?
I think right now it would be good. I don't know if he's somebody in the offseason when I have the opportunity to interview people. I don't know if he'd be the guy.
Yeah.
I think they go into, we talked about it last week with Kevin Cash and that being an option. I'm sure they'll try and poach him. I think they go in a little bit of a different direction. I think they do go with a guy that's closer to a Carlos Mendoza than, the complete other side of it, just an analytics guy.
Yeah.
Guys that can hold your players accountable in the locker room. I think they go that route.
I think Cashman has to realize that there's flaws in the Boone system. And you can have a guy that bridges the gap between players love him. He's friends with the players. They're all buddies.
Buddy.
When it's time to play and time to be held accountable, you have to be held accountable.
And I just, again, I don't know if this, it's a new age, right? Like we live at a time where you cannot completely criticize your players publicly.
Yep.
I wonder if Cashman, that's almost like a directive from the front office. Like, we're not going to do this. And maybe he's just following orders.
It's going to be interesting. I've asked friends, based on how this season has gone, would you rather be the first team out of the playoffs or get swept out of the wild card round and Boone gets fired, or win a round or two and see this team have good moments again the rest of the year? And you don't know if Boone's going to get fired or not. Everybody says they'd rather the guaranteed outcome that Boone gets fired.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I don't know if I blame people for that. I don't think I blame people for that.
You want the change. I get it.
I have one more Yankees thing, two more Yankees things, but three more Yankees things. Real quick on the first one, McMahon's been very good. Suarez is struggling in Seattle, so just if we're going to give Cashman credit, and I'm going to take an L early on this, I was wrong on McMahon. It does feel like a good fit. He has definitely had a little bit of juice, and it's too bad they've only won a couple of games with him because he's had some moments that should have led to wins.
Yeah.
And they didn't. But McMahon's been a nice pickup. And now that Judge is back, if he doesn't play right field soon, which they think he's going to in the next week or two, give it a try. There's a real problem where your two best hitters are Judge and Stanton's not getting at bats anymore.
It's a problem right now because he was really hitting, and you can't play. I had heard Boone say he's going to play him. Maybe he'll consider certain outfields. Maybe he considers the home outfield this weekend. You got to get them both at bats. You got to get them both in the lineup. And the only way to do it at the moment is getting Stanton in right field. I don't know if he's willing to do that.
I think if you play him in right field, you have to put Grisham in center and Bellinger in left and have them basically cover 3/4 of the outfield grass, 75% of it, and make sure that Stanton can just cover the right field corner.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's definitely a tough spot. And the last Yankee thing I have is I'm pulling this from a tweet from an account called Rational Yankees Fan, but it just inspired me to have a little rant.
Okay.
The thing I hate hearing the most the last few years from Yankees fans, the worst kind of Yankee fans, are the if George Steinbrenner was alive, this would be happening or this wouldn't be happening. I hate it. I'm nauseated by it, and it happens way too often. George Steinbrenner has been dead for 16 years. And this interesting breakdown from Rational Yankees Fan on Twitter is about the World Series or bust attitude and the perception of George Steinbrenner's ownership versus Hal Steinbrenner's. And I'm not here to say Hal is his dad. I'm not here to defend the Yankees' current ownership. But I thought these were just interesting perspectives, and I wanted to get your thought. And most of them are stuff we already kind of know. But 20 of the 27 Yankees championships happened before free agency existed and before an amateur draft existed. 20 of the 27 championships happened when only one team from each league made the playoffs, and it was automatically the World Series. 16 of the 27 happened before integration, but this one is the interesting one. And this is a Brian Cashman one, too. 26 of the 27 World Series happened before a luxury tax existed. So the Yankees in the luxury tax era have not seen George Steinbrenner as the owner. And I never knew that. I didn't realize the luxury tax didn't come into play till the mid-2000s. I thought it was there about 10 years earlier. That is fascinating, and also fascinating as to how good is Brian Cashman at building a World Series winner with a luxury tax.
You got to send me that tweet. That's incredible. Incredible. Yeah, I mean, there was this time where the Yankees, we all know this, were the bullies, right? The Red Sox became one of those teams as well. They really started to spend around 03, 04 when they started to win some World Series there. But the Yankees were the bully for a very long time. And there was no penalties towards that. Now, obviously, you have the luxury tax penalties. It's fascinating. That is a fascinating tweet there.
And I will send it to you. The other part of this is in the luxury tax era, there have been 0 repeat World Series champions. So dynasties, with the exception of the 3 championships in 6 years, San Francisco Giants, dynasties have not existed. They've been phased out of baseball.
Right. And even if you consider the Giants, some people don't consider the Giants a dynasty.
Yeah.
I don't. Actually, I think I do. I think I do.
You win 3 in 6 years.
I think you're a dynasty.
I'm going to call it a dynasty. And then I guess the closest thing since then is the Astros. Who have only won 2 in 7 years.
But they're in the ALCS 7 straight years before this year. Yeah.
So it's
would you call the Chiefs a dynasty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Because I think the people call, even though Colin Cowherd said it's over.
The dynasty's over?
Dynasty Chiefs are done.
Wow. Okay.
So where Colin was right, maybe.
You're not a real Mets fan if you didn't want them to get no hit. I'm just seeing that tweet right now.
Yeah, I guess you're a real Mets fan.
Oh, I'm definitely real. I'm real.
I'm looking through. I have nothing else on the Yankees here, but you look through the league.
Yeah, go.
As we wrap up here quick. The Guardians now jump the Rangers
back
in the standings. 59-55. They're still 2 wins worse than the Yankees, but game and a half back. They're right there.
My Guards are back.
Your Guards are back, and my Reds are back.
Well, the Reds got crushed last night, right?
Yes, by Pittsburgh.
Yep.
My Reds are back 3.5 games out.
By Skeens, not by Pittsburgh, by Skeens.
Skeens is having, I'm sure you've seen most of the stats on Skeens, but he's having maybe the greatest first 2 years of a career ever.
Yeah, I've seen the comparisons to Doc Gooden potentially.
And what a waste in Pittsburgh.
Yep. They are not going to do anything around him. They are probably not going to pay him. They probably should pay him, but they're not going to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to trade him at some point. So that's
going to trade him at some point. What'd you think of the Roman Anthony extension before we bounce off?
Oh, yeah. Like these guys just leave so much money on the table. I understand that you want it instantly, and I get that, but man, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. How old is he going to be when that 8-year contract's up? What is it, be 32, something like that? How old is he right now?
Right now he's 21.
Maybe 30, probably. By the
I
time
think it's a great move for Anthony.
You think?
I think so, because you're adding. You would have been a free agent when you were 27 if you didn't take this deal. But in 28 and 29, he's going to make $60 million guaranteed. So God forbid something happens to the guy. First of all, that's where my mind would go if I was a player. Like God forbid this doesn't go the way I'm expecting it to go. Then I'm locking up $130 million before I turn 31 years old. And he already had the 6 years of control. So you're only adding 2 years to the end of this deal. You're going to, if he is a superstar, bona fide, absolute superstar, he should still be in his prime when this contract's over.
And they're going to pay him probably before that anyway. If he's having that great of a season, they're not even going to let him hit free agency.
And Jeff Passan said that the contract with the incentives and escalators that are in it could be 8 for $230.
Really?
There's he said that on his ESPN article. I don't think he tweeted that. there's $100 million in incentives and escalators that he could reach.
Wow.
So realistically, he probably is going to end up getting like 180, 190, because you're probably not going to hit every incentive.
That's a nice deal then. That's a nice deal. And I didn't realize how young he was.
Yeah, he's still only 21.
Yeah. So they're probably not, they didn't void this year, so probably starts next year, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but what's interesting too is he would have been, because I'm reading it now, it is 26 years old. He would have been a free agent at the same age that Soto was. Is he going to become the player Soto became? That's as great as Anthony's been so far and as great as he was as a prospect. That's just unlikely.
He's not going to be Soto.
But if he is, you pass up. It's an interesting time because if I was sitting there 21 years old and my agent is probably like, this guy just got $800 million. What's the market going to be in 5 years if you're the best outfielder in baseball?
Yeah.
But he locks up the money. Yeah, it is. It is interesting.
Gets paid. He gets paid. Good for him.
And then
good for the family. Great family.
Great for the family. Maybe he gets $200 million here, and 10 years from now, 8 years from now, if he's the best player in the league, 10 best players, he's getting $400 million. You lock up a nice $600+ million career.
Good for him.
And ride off into the sunset as a Yankee when he signs with the Yankees.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. They don't keep their guys.
Okay.
I'm shocked you said Boston's going to sign him before he hits free agency. We're going to have to revisit that 7 years from now on episode 690.
They're going to have to, yeah. Hopefully the sister's listening as well when we do that episode.
Oh, gosh. Good God. Never listening to you.
Yep.
She'll never
Probably not. No. Probably not.
Definitely not. All right. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. Before we
Good,
get canceled here.
Appreciate everybody listening. As always, enjoy the weekend. We'll be back next week with shows every day, all 5 days, not Burrows, but we have a new schedule getting broken down. So we will have podcasts, at least one or two, probably about 2 every single day of the week, more social media content, a different layout on social media. So we appreciate you supporting to this point. Big changes coming this weekend, but not too much. Still the same old enjoyable stuff that we do. So thanks for the support. You can listen to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, but make sure you look up The Burrows, not BTO Media. And you can listen to The Bunker, Mic'd Up, No Good Takes. You can watch The Playbook at The PlayBK on Instagram and check out basically all that stuff that you already know about on social media. So we will see you after the weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Mets. Huge series for both. And we'll be back probably Monday morning with The Burrows.